Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of What You Watchin'. I'm Adam.
And I'm Emily.
And today we got a double feature of not Margot Robbie. I say that because this actress is somebody that everybody always mistakes as, ooh, look, a new Margot Robbie movie. But it's not Margot Robbie. Not that she's not great too, and you can watch a lot of her movies, but today we're talking about Samara Weaving, a great up-and-coming actress who last year put out one of my favorite films of the year. Not because it was the best film, but I just had a lot of fun watching this movie, and the movie's called Ready or Not.
So Ready or Not is the story of a girl who is getting married, and on her wedding day finds out that her new family's tradition is to play a game.
Because they're game entrepreneurs. They have an entire gaming empire.
That's where they made their fortune.
And so she has to play a game after being married into the family, so that she'll actually be accepted as part of the family. And of all the games that she gets the game Hide and Seek, which is not your typical hide and seek. It becomes a deadly game of hide and seek, where she has to hide throughout the entire night, survive until morning, while her entire new family is out to kill her.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I loved this film. It's not the best film out there. It's not the most scary and it's not the most funny, but being a mixture of both, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it had a touch of realism in this, where a lot of characters reacted in the way that you would expect someone to react in this crazy instance, and it flowed well. The jokes landed for me completely. I love that dry sense of humor that they ran throughout the entire film. I just thought it was great. I had so much fun with it.
Yeah, it was a great movie. I think it was really well created. My two favorite parts of the whole movie were the pacing. I thought the pacing was done really well. It slowly brought you into the world, but once the story started going, once the game was afoot, it really took off from there. I thought the way that Samara Weaving's character grew throughout the film and changed and went for, ha ha ha, this is just a funny kind of game, and oh my god, to I am fighting now for my life, was such a great build that I was completely engaged with that character the whole time. I was so drawn in, I couldn't take my eyes off of her, and I was on the edge of my seat waiting to see what was going to happen to her throughout the night. And this movie gives you a lot of great twists and turns as well. It's not a very straightforward film. You know, you don't have your good guy, your bad guy, we get to the end. We have our good guy, our bad guy, another good guy, another bad guy, another good guy. Oh, no, she might be bad now. Oh, no, he's good now. And it just keeps you guessing on whose side of the fence are these people on. And that's what keeps it entertaining as well. It really encapsulates a great story with some really good acting as well.
Oh, yeah. And I honestly thought everyone's motivations were there. You could see not just their goal, but what behind them in their characters was driving them towards that goal. You know, it goes from the mom of the matriarch of the family being like, I have to kill this new person that I actually really like, because I need to protect my family, and that's rooted in her need to protect her family. Then you really got to see all that, and that really went well with the beginning of the story, getting us into the film, and it really got us into their motivations.
Yeah, every character in the film really was, as much as possible when you have a large ensemble, filled out. You know, they all had their motivations for why they were doing it. They all had their second guesses as to why they were doing it. They really gave enough time to each person that it was never like, you're just in the background, who cares about you? They really developed a great world. And what I enjoyed about the world that they created beyond the characters was it was one location. It was one house and the yard, the surrounding yard, but obviously it's a mansion, they're a rich family, so there's plenty of different rooms to play with, but the idea that it was taking place all in one house, I always knew the geography and the layout of what was happening, so when you were in that hunting portion of the movie, you really get to know, oh my god, they're right around the corner, without them actually having to do the whole peek around the corner and there they are and now we know they're close. You just knew they were close in what was happening. And I think that worked really well for this movie. I thought the comedy worked really well. Now, Adam Brody is a wonderful actor. He's good in pretty much everything. He stole this movie for me. He was the best part of the movie, the most engaging character, even outside of Samara Weaving. He was my favorite part of the movie, and the only complaint I have is we didn't spend enough time with him when we should have.
Yeah, he had the most complex back and forth. Is he good? Is he bad? You know, where is his true loyalties lie? And you really got to see his struggle throughout the entire film. I agree, along with
Samara Weaving.
Yeah, I can never say her name for the life of me. Besides her character, I do agree he was the most intriguing to watch.
Yeah, it's a really well-constructed movie. A great time to watch. A great time had by the people who are going to watch it. If you didn't watch it in theaters, it didn't make a lot of money. I don't blame people for not going out to see it. It wasn't really grabbing a lot of attention. People weren't really talking about it. So this is probably something that flew under your radar. But don't let it. Go out, check it out. You'll really enjoy it. Now, the next film we're going to talk about in our Samara Weaving double header is one of my favorite films on Netflix right now. Maybe my favorite film on Netflix right now. It came out, I believe, in 2018. It's called The Babysitter. And it's as simple as that. Samara Weaving plays a babysitter. I know that's a babysitter I would like to have. But she does. She plays a babysitter who's going to watch over a young kid that she's watched over many, many times, and he has a giant crush on her. But this night's just a little bit different, because instead of going to bed when he's supposed to, he decides to stay up and see what his babysitter does after she puts him to bed. And I don't think satanic rituals was on his checklist of what he thinks babysitters do.
It's not on my checklist either, honestly.
It might be now. Go ahead.
I like the previous movie. I really enjoyed this movie. I don't even know how we came upon it the first time we saw it, because we saw it pretty much when it came out. It is so clever and funny, and it has that dry sense of humor again, like Ready or Not did, that it was very situational and very dry and very, like, a little out of place because they're acting a little too calmly for what's going on, but still, like, so funny because it's that difference between this is a crazy thing, satanic rituals are going on, and it's this, why is this guy not wearing a shirt? And that's the joke. And it made me laugh the entire time, and it was so fun. And
this movie really reminded me of something along the lines of like a Cabin in the Woods, where, or a Shaun of the Dead even. You know, it's very much a horror movie, and it's got great horror elements to it, and it's a callback even to Halloween. You know, the old slasher movies where you have the final girl. Well, in this case, it's final little boy, but it's him against the babysitter and her people. So you get this great horror element of jump scares, of them tracking him and him trying to survive the night and everything. But it's just so funny as well. You know, sets up such a peaceful world in this cutesy little, it's going to be this little romantic story about a boy who has a crush on his baby. Everybody's stabbed. And oh my God, what is happening right now? And that's what really works in The Babysitter, is the comedy doesn't supersede the story or the horror. It just melds it all together to give you a fantastic, well thought out movie from McG, who I never thought could make a great movie because he was a music video director and all this, and just his movies are never very... This is what he does, and it worked so well.
Yeah, it is quite stylized, and the pacing is a little weird, only in the fact that it's high action, and then they get moments of like heart or terror. Like it goes from quick to quiet pretty quickly. That in the middle of a guy, one of my favorite parts of the entire movie, one of the satanic guys chasing the little kid, and the guy has time to like talk to the kid about a bullying problem.
Yeah,
it's a weird moment of timing, but it's so worked.
But see, that's, I think, what made The Babysitter, because if they wouldn't have been like, chase, 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 heart to heart about bullies and how to handle that, you just go back into your traditional slasher horror flick. Mm-hmm. Throwing in those moments is what elevated this movie to a whole nother level. And this is one that probably everybody's had that experience of going through Netflix going, what do we watch? What do we watch? What do we watch? So this one is probably something that has showed up on people's playlists hundreds of times, and they've just skipped over it. And this isn't something you should skip over. I think the acting in it is amazing. You get, Samara Weaving is the main star, but you also get Bella Thorne, who I know has had a lot of troubles and everything, but she plays your stereotypical hot girl cheerleader, high schooler, but she does it so well. And the rest of the cast is amazing too, but her and Samara Weaving really stand out to me because they play on these tropes of these characters in such a fun way.
Oh, yeah. I know some of the gore is a little bit, campy.
Well, it has to be, because this is a fun movie. If they made it too realistic, it can turn people off. So, the blood doesn't just stab and some blood. It's like stab and blood's just pouring and shooting everywhere. There's a great moment where blood gets in one of the guy's mouths and all over him, and he starts freaking out about it and talking about how people have STDs, and now he has two different people's blood on him, so he's definitely got an STD now. But that's where that lighthearted humor comes in, and why this movie works so well.
Yeah. I love it. I know people might have looked at it and gone, oh, this looks silly, this looks weird, and written it off, but you really shouldn't. It is so fun. It is a great hormedy, as I like to say, a horror comedy. I really enjoyed this film.
Yeah, and the cinematography is great. The dialogue is great. It definitely feels like stuff high schoolers would say, even those that are in satanic cults. This definitely feels like what they would say. So kudos to the writers on this one as well. I look forward to seeing anything else that they write. But if you're a big fan of Shaun of the Dead, Cabin in the Woods, those kind of films, check out The Babysitter. You're not going to be disappointed. And I think that wraps up our Samara Weaving double feature. 2 horror comedy style films, but sometimes you need a little bit of brevity in a world full of seriousness, and these are really going to give it to you. So check those out, and then in the comments below, let us know what you thought about those films, or let us know about films you want us to watch and give our feedback on. And in the meantime, stick around, tune in. We got more stuff coming to the channel soon. Bye.
Bye.